Hello, beta. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to go ahead and discuss all the past year questions of GATE Economics 2023 paper. जितने भी GATE Economics के 2023 के questions हैं, हम वो सारे के सारे in detail आज discuss करेंगे. And this is going to be beta part B of your paper. जितना भी GATE Economics part B है, that is what I'm going to go ahead and discuss. Right, beta? ओके बच्चे, लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. देखो ध्यान से, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 क्या कह रहा है. इट सेज एन इंडिविजुअल इज इंडोर्ड विद इनकम ऑफ 142 rupees and it goes ahead and it says that you are given a utility function of the form x2 into x1 plus 1. अब ध्यान से हमें देखना है that this utility function that is given to us, this is a well-defined preference. This is like a Cobb-Douglas utility function, right? So the utility function, this is given to me as x2 into x1 plus 1, which means it is a well-defined utility function. Well-defined utility function. क्योंकि अगर मैं इसको ध्यान से देखूं, this looks very similar to a Cobb-Douglas utility function. And if you notice, बच्चे, you are given that the price of good 1 is 2 rupees and the price of good 2 is given to you as 3 rupees. It is asking you to calculate the utility maximizing bundle. How can we do this? Very simple. We will go ahead and we will find the MRS. We will equate it to the price ratio and we will get the answer. So let us go ahead and find its MRS. MRS can be written as MU1 by MU2. MU1 मतलब क्या? You need to differentiate the utility function with respect to good 1. And MU2 मतलब क्या? You need to go ahead and differentiate the utility function with respect to good 2. When you will go ahead and you will differentiate the utility function with respect to good 1, what will you get? But ध्यान से open this up. This is giving you x2 into x1 plus x2. तो x1 तो सिर्फ यहाँ आ रहा है ना. x1 is only coming here. So when you will differentiate this utility function with respect to x1, तो x2 is a constant. तो x2 हर जगह constant है. So its differentiation will become x2. And when you will differentiate it with respect to x2, so beta x1 is a constant. तो x1 को आप constant hold करोगे. Differentiation of x2 will be 1 into x1. Differentiation of x2 will become 1. So its differentiation will become 1 plus x1. So your MRS will become x2 divided by 1 plus x1. What is your price ratio? MRS को हम equate करते हैं P1 by P2 से. Price of good 1 is given to us as 2. Price of good 2 is given to us as 3. So when I will go ahead and I will solve this equation, what will I get? I will get x2 divided by 1 plus x1 is equal to 2 by 3. Beta cross multiply karo. Just cross multiply. You will get 3x2 is equal to 2 plus 2x1. Right? Achha. Now tell me, beta, how will you write the budget line? How will you write budget line? Budget line का क्या equation होता है? It is P1x1 plus P2x2 is equal to income of the consumer. Beta, P1 is given to you as 2x1. P2 is given to you as 3x2. Income कितना दिया हुआ है consumer का? The income of consumer is given to you as 142. So is equal to 142. Beta, इस equation से when you have equated MRS to the price ratio, you have got that 3x2 is equal to 2 plus 2x1. तो यहाँ पर 3x2 की जगह पर can I just write 2 plus 2x1? I can write that. So I will write 2x1 and instead of 3x2, I will just put this value. So I will get 2 plus 2x1 is equal to 142. Better this will go here. So 2x1 plus 2x1, this will go ahead and this will become 4x1 is equal to 140. So beta x1 will be what? 140 divided by 4, 70 divided by 2, 35. बेटा x2 का वैल्यू यहां से निकल सकता है इस इक्वेशन से. I have found out that x1 is 35. Just put this 35. So you will get 3x2 is equal to 2 plus 2 into 35. तो बेटा 3x2 is equal to 72. तो बेटा x2 will be 72 divided by 3. This will give you 3 2s are 6, 3 4s are 12, 24. So what is your equilibrium bundle? क्या आ रहा है equilibrium bundle from this one? You are getting that your equilibrium bundle will be 35, 24. So the correct answer to this question will be C, 35, 24. This is the answer to this question. Right, beta? Okay, beta. Come to the next question. But in this question, the answer sheet says marks to all. Answer की बोलता है marks to all. Right? But there is a problem. I think there is a correct answer in this case. Question पढ़ते हैं. It says that the International Monetary Fund began its operation in. Now, if you go ahead and you look into the data, you will find that the IMF, International Monetary Fund, but it was established in the year 1944. 1944 में ये established हुआ. And it began its operation in 1947. 1947 is one of the options. 1947 is given in the options. So if you are asking when it began its operation was started in 1947, तो उस हिसाब से तो ये correct है. But if you are asking when it was established in 1944, which is not in the option, वो option में नहीं है. So if operation is asked, तो actually B is the right answer. कोई गलत नहीं है उसमें. B is the correct answer. But the answer key is saying marks to all, so we will ठीक है. We will assume marks to all. सबको marks मिले, good enough. Okay, beta. Come to the next question. According to the working group of money supply, analytics and methodology of compilation constituted by Reserve Bank of India, which one of the following is not a component of new monetary aggregates, NM1? इसको थोड़ा सा हम समझते हैं. Try to understand this, beta. See, earlier we had the monetary aggregates. जो हमारे पुराने monetary aggregates होते थे, those monetary aggregates were called M0, M1, M2 and M3, M4 also. These are our old monetary aggregates. The old monetary aggregates are before this working group. इस working group से पहले जो हमारा ये वर्किंग ग्रुप बना, इससे पहले जो हमारे मॉनेटरी एग्रीगेट्स थे, they were M1, M2, M3 and M4. Here बच्चे M0 was called as the monetary base. M1 narrow था, most narrow form of money. M4 most broad form of money. Narrow, broad. अब क्या हुआ? In 1998 we had a working group, working committee. And in this working committee, we formed new monetary aggregates. हमने नए monetary aggregates को formulate किया. These new monetary aggregates were called NM1, NM2, NM3. So this N itself stands for new. इसमें भी we had a similar concept. We had the concept of reserve money. Reserve money means base. Reserve money means money in circulation plus the bank deposits. And then we had these concepts of NM1, NM2 and NM3. अब NM1 क्या था? NM1 was the most narrow form of money. Narrow form of money. NM1 was called as the most narrow form of money. Right, beta? अच्छा, अब इस NM1 में क्या आता था? What came in NM1? So currency in circulation with public, जो भी currency बाहर है, whatever currency is there in circulation with the public, वो आता था. Demand deposit with the bank and bankers deposit with RBI. But a banker किस form में deposit करेगा RBI के पास? So if I have a bank, then bank will deposit money with RBI in the form of cash reserve ratio. Right? Bank will deposit money with RBI, the CRR's cash reserve ratio. So that comes here in bankers deposit with RBI. जो भी पैसा bank RBI के पास deposit करता है. So NM1, which is the most narrow form of money, it included currency in circulation with public. It includes demand deposit. Demand deposit, as the word suggests, those deposits which can be taken back from the bank on demand. मतलब मैं आज जाके बोलूं मेरे को ये पैसा वापस दे दो, मेरा डिपॉजिट निकाल के वापस दो, तो बैंक को देना पड़ेगा. Bank will have to give back your deposit on your demand. So demand deposit and bankers deposit with RBI. This became NM1. NM2 beta is all components of NM1, but it also includes short-term deposits of the residents. And NM3 is everything in NM2, but long-term deposits of the resident and long-term funding from the financial institutions. Clear ho gayi ye baat ekdam? Now the question is going ahead and it is asking you which is not a component of your new monetary aggregates. Not a component, right? So currency with public, it is a component, right? So we will go ahead and I will take this. Demand deposit with banking system, it is a component of NM1. This is also a component. Short-term time deposit, this is not a component. But a time मतलब मैं कुछ समय के लिए deposit कर रही हूँ. If I am depositing money for some time period, then it is not liquid. वो तो illiquid हो गया ना कि 6 महीने के लिए पैसा मैंने वहां रख दिया. I cannot use that for 6 months. That has become illiquid money. So this is not the most liquid form. और NM1 में most liquid form of money आता है. This only includes most liquid form of money. वो पैसा which is equivalent to cash, the money which is equivalent to cash, जो आराम से कैश के बराबर है, that is called as your most liquid form of money. So that means that beta it does not include time deposits. So this is the right answer. Time deposits are not a part of NM1. Clear हुआ बात? Okay beta, let's come to the next question. Stagflation is a situation when. So what is stagflation? Beta stagflation can be written in two parts. कैसे divide कर सकते हैं इसे हम? Stagnation plus inflation. Right beta? What is inflation? Inflation क्या है? Inflation means increasing prices. But what is stagnation? Stagnation means output not increasing. Employment not increasing. Unemployment increasing. ये हो गया stagnation. So you have these stagnation features and you also have increasing prices. जब ये दो चीजें combine हो जाती हैं, when these two things combine, stagnation. So what will be the answer to this question? Let's look into the question now. So this says, what is a stagflation? So stagflation means you should have high unemployment, high prices. So the correct answer to this question will be B. Unemployment is high and prices are also high. Right, beta? Okay, beta, come to the next question. This says, consider the Keynesian consumption function. What is the Keynes consumption function? C is equal to alpha plus beta y. Beta, it clearly tells you alpha is constant and beta is MPC and beta is between 0 and 1. क्या बोल रहा है क्वेश्चन? Find out average propensity to consume. बहुत simple है. What is APC? APC can be said as consumption divided by output. What is consumption? Beta, consumption is alpha plus beta y divided by output. क्या हो जाएगा? Alpha by output plus beta y by output. Beta, this will give you alpha by output plus beta. From here, I can, अच्छा पहले हम आंसर मार्क कर लेते हैं. तो this will be alpha by y plus beta. But from here we can go ahead and we can also derive one more important result. क्या मिला हमें? We got average propensity to consume is equal to alpha by y plus beta. But what was beta? Beta was marginal propensity to consume. So can I write this as alpha by y plus marginal propensity to consume? Beta, alpha positive है, alpha is positive, output is also positive. तो ये हमारा कोई एक positive number रहा होगा. This would be positive. So I can say APC is MPC plus something. When you add something to MPC, जब आप MPC में कुछ नंबर को add करते हो, then you get APC. Good afternoon everyone, beta. Then you get APC. When you add something to MPC, then you get APC. तो यहीं से हमारा एक और रिजल्ट आ गया that APC is more than MPC. जब हमने एमपीसी में कुछ ऐड किया तब एपीसी मिला, तो एपीसी तो एमपीसी से ज्यादा हो गया ना. सो दिस इज अनदर रिजल्ट एंड देयरफॉर वी कैन गो अहेड एंड वी कैन से दैट द करेक्ट आंसर, अगर कभी कुछ एग्जाम में पूछे द रिजल्ट, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज से दैट इन Keynes consumption function APC will be more than MPC. Another important result. Clear हुई बात? Okay बेटा, come to the next question. An analyst regressed y on x1 and x2. कर लेते हैं regression perform. So y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. Okay. She later noticed x1 is equal to 5x2. तो क्या notice किया उसने? x1 is 5 times x2. तो बेटा ये तो clear example of multicollinearity हो गया. Perfect multicollinearity है कि नहीं? Because you are able to derive a relation between x1 and x2, a fixed relation that x1 is 5 times x2. आपने एक fixed relation बता दिया है कि x1 जो है ना वो 5 times of x2 है. तो ये तो perfect multicollinearity हो गई. There is a perfect relationship between them. Suppose this would have been x1 is equal to 5x2 plus some error term. Now this is multicollinearity but imperfect. Because now I don't know what this error term can be. x1 जो है 5x2 से थोड़ा ऊपर भी हो सकता है. It can be a bit more. थोड़ा नीचे भी हो सकता है. It can be a bit less. So x1 will be around 5x2 but a little more or little less. थोड़ा ध्यान से समझो बच्चे. When I tell you x1 is equal to 5 times x2 and I want to plot this, अगर मैं इसको plot करती हूँ, what will I get? When x2 is 1, x1 will be 5. When x2 is 2, x2 will be 10. So this is a direct relation. This is a direct relation. So this is perfect multicollinearity. Perfect मल्टीकोलिनियरिटी। हमने बोला x1 is 5x2 plus some term. I don't know what this term is. कभी पॉजिटिव होगा कभी नेगेटिव होगा. It will be some term. माने it will be not exactly when x2 is 5 1 x1 5 नहीं होगा. 5 से ऊपर भी हो सकता है नीचे भी हो सकता है. Are you getting it? When x2 will be 1, x1 will not be 5. It can be 4.9 also. It can be 5.1 also. We don't know what this error term is. So it will be around 5, but we don't know the exact value. This is imperfect multicollinearity. Imperfect multicollinearity. Right, बेटा? अच्छा, अब एक और चीज हमें इसमें थोड़ा समझना है. Right? Try to understand that. Let me just go back to this question for a while. You are right that in long run, APC and MPC will become equal to each other. Correct, beta. That's the correct answer. APC and MPC will become equal to each other in the long run. Correct. Okay. Now, just come back to this question. अच्छा, अब ध्यान से इसमें हमें समझना है. But if x1 is 5x2, मतलब there is perfect multicollinearity. Let us just go back to this regression equation once. एक बारी हम इस regression equation पे दोबारा चलते हैं. What can I do? Instead of x2, can I write down x1 divided by 5? I can. So what will I do? I will say y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x1 divided by 5. But let me just try to rewrite this thing down. So I will get this as beta naught plus x1 common low, beta 1 plus beta 2 by 5. Suppose I tell you this is some number. Suppose इसको मैंने alpha ले लिया. So I can write this as beta naught plus x1 into alpha. What does this mean? It means that I had started with a 3-variable regression model. मैंने 3 वेरिएबल्स के साथ अपना रिग्रेशन मॉडल शुरू किया था. y, x1 and x2. 2 इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल थे, 1 डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल. y was dependent on x1 and x2. But just by simplifying this model a bit, इसको मैंने थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई किया and I converted it into a 2-variable regression model. 2-variable regression. बेटा this is the problem with multicollinearity. आप शुरू एक बड़े मॉडल के साथ करते हो. You start with a bigger model, but you end with a smaller model. Now, if you apply OLS, अगर मैंने OLS लगाया, I will be able to only estimate beta naught and alpha. उससे क्या मैं वापस beta 1, beta 2 का वैल्यू निकाल पाऊंगी? No. I will not be able to come back to the original beta naught and beta 1 and beta 2. I will only be able to estimate this alpha. समझ रहे हो मेरा point? So in perfect multicollinearity, you are not able to get back the original coefficients. आपको अपने पुराने original coefficient नहीं मिल पाते. You cannot find them back. All you can find is this new coefficient. Because now it is only a simple regression model. अब ये सिर्फ एक 2-variable regression model बन के रह गया है. It's only a simple regression model to work with. Am I clear? I will just repeat it once. देखो ध्यान से बेटा. We are starting with y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 model. But हमें given है, we are given that x1 is 5 times x2. From here I got that x2 will be x1 divided by 5. If I plug this value of x2 here, अगर मैं इस वैल्यू को यहां प्लग इन कर देती हूं, I will get y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x1 divided by 5. इफ आई टेक x1 कॉमन, यहां से अगर हम x1 कॉमन ले लेंगे, आई विल गेट दिस. आई कैन जस्ट राइट दिस एज सम अल्फा. और जैसे ही मैं इसको अल्फा लिखूंगी, द मोमेंट आई विल राइट दिस एज अल्फा, आई कैन ओनली एस्टिमेट दिस अल्फा. मैं सिर्फ इसका वैल्यू निकाल पाऊंगी. I will not be able to find the original betas. मैं इनकी वैल्यू नहीं रिवाइव कर पाऊंगी. That's the problem with perfect multicollinearity. That is why this assumption is very important. ठीक है. So what is being violated बेटा? कौन सी assumption यहाँ violate हो रही है? That we should not have perfect multicollinearity, but यहाँ पे perfect multicollinearity हो रही है. Right? Okay बेटा. Now then how will we find variance inflationary? Na beta, variance inflationary factor only plays a role when there is imperfect multicollinearity. Perfect multicollinearity, you cannot run the model. अगर आप गुजराती के शुरुआत में पढ़ो, इकोनोमेट्रिक्स में क्लियरली सजेस्टेड है that everything in multicollinearity can be done only in imperfect multicollinearity case. Nothing can be done in perfect multicollinearity. Perfect multicollinearity को तो वही रोक दो, उसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते. You can't run the model anymore, right? Okay, let's go to the next question now. Which of the following is not an example of non-tariff barrier? इसको थोड़ा सा समझते हैं. Let's try to understand this thing. Our barriers can be divided in two parts. One is called as tariff barrier and one is called as non-tariff barriers. But for students who have enrolled in our course, I have put a special assignment in international economics only on tariff versus non-tariff barriers. Please वो assignment सब कर लेंगे. Please do that assignment. It will be important from GATE exam point of view. ठीक है बेटा? Okay, coming back to the question. So there are two type of barriers. एक को बोलते हैं हम tariff barriers and other are called as non-tariff barriers. Tariff barrier, as the name suggests, वो barriers हैं जिसमें taxation involved हो. Price में हम कुछ करें, price inflate कर दें good का. For example, you are getting a good from US to India. आप US से इंडिया में good import कर रहे हो. This good is worth 100 rupees. Now the government puts a tax of 10 rupees on this good so that it becomes expensive. ताकि वो महंगा हो जाए. And people buy only domestic goods. लोग सिर्फ वो goods खरीदें जो इंडिया के अंदर प्रोड्यूस होते हैं. That is a tariff barrier. So a tariff barrier is when you are putting tax. जब आप पैसे को inflate करते हो, जब आप एक good के price को increase कर देते हो, when you increase the price of the good, that is called as a tariff barrier. उसको हम tariff barrier बोलते हैं. A non-tariff barrier, it is also used to reduce import. इसका काम imports को कम करना ही है. But tax मत लगाओ. कुछ भी और करो जिससे imports घट जाए. So we want to reduce the imports. काम हमारा है कि हम imports को कम करें, but हम tax नहीं लगाना चाहते. We don't want to put any tax on it. हम किसी और तरीके से imports को कम करेंगे. We want to reduce the imports by some other technique. Now, what are non-tariff barrier examples? The first example is quota. You are fixing that you can only import this much. जैसे हमने फिक्स कर दिया कि देखो जी, यूएस से जितनी मशीन्स आएंगी ना, वो 400 क्रॉस नहीं कर सकती. 400 मशीन से ऊपर हम इंपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे. वी वोंट इंपोर्ट मोर देन 400 मशीन्स फ्रॉम यूएस. दैट इज पुटिंग अ कोटा. वी आर फिक्सिंग द नंबर ऑफ इंपोर्ट्स. कोई टैक्स नहीं लगाया. नो टैक्स हैज बीन इम्पोज्ड. वी आर जस्ट फिक्सिंग द नंबर. दैट इज अ कोटा. Better look into the next one. Voluntary export restraints. This is called as VER. ध्यान से समझो। वॉलेंटरी मीन्स व्हाट? खुद से करना कोई चीज। एक्सपोर्ट रिस्ट्रेंट मीन्स व्हाट? एक्सपोर्ट्स को रोकना। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देयर इज अ कंट्री ए, there is a country B. What country A is doing? Country A is selling its goods to country B. ये export कर रहा है country B में. Country B is very tired of it. Country B अपने goods तो बेच नहीं पा रहा है. It's not able to sell its good. All it is getting is goods from country A. Country B has a lot of problem. अब country B A के पास जाता है और बोलता है, look, either you restrict your export yourself, or I will put some impositions on your export. या तो मैं आपके गुड्स रुकवा दूंगा या आप खुद से देख लो और रोक दो, right? When this country will put a restraint itself, when it will say, okay, let me reduce the export myself, that is called as voluntary export restraint. Read it out, beta. Exporting country, जो country export कर रही है, the country that is exporting, voluntarily limits its export. It is stopping its export voluntarily to avoid imposition of stringent measures, ताकि कोई दूसरी कंट्री उसको कोई भी एक stringent, एक strict measure ना ले. That is called as voluntary export restriction. So what is voluntary export restriction doing? It is putting voluntarily, it is saying, okay, I will restrict my exports, but you don't put any imposition on me. तुम मेरे ऊपर कोई strict imposition मत लगाओ. That is VER. Look into the third one, beta. This is import license. In this case, what the government is doing? अब government A है, government B. There is a lot of import happening from B to A. अब government of country A is tired of it. Government कहती है कि बहुत हो गया, बहुत import हो रहे हैं. My domestic producers are suffering. What will government A do? It will put a license system. It will say, look, first you will purchase a license from me, and only if you have a license, then you can import from this country. And it will put a limit on the number of license. तो कंट्री ए की गवर्नमेंट ने क्या कहा? उसने बोला मैं लाइसेंसेस पे एक लिमिट लगा रहा हूं. दिस इज द मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ इंपोर्टिंग लाइसेंस, और जितने लाइसेंस इशू करूंगा, वॉट एवर लाइसेंस आई विल इशू, ओनली दैट मच इंपोर्ट्स विल टेक प्लेस. इट इज नॉट पुटिंग एनी टैक्स, इट्स अ नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर, इट इज जस्ट पुटिंग लाइसेंस सिस्टम इन प्लेस. बेटा नेक्स्ट, domestic support and subsidies to domestic producer. Now what this country is doing? Government of country is saying, let me support my infant industries. What is an infant industry? Who is an infant? A newly born baby. तो infant industry क्या है? जो इंडस्ट्री अभी अभी पैदा हुई है, जो अभी अभी शुरू हुई है. You want to protect that industry from competition of other countries. बाकी countries के import से उसको protect करना है. How will you protect it? By giving it subsidies. By opening what is called as special economic zone. SEZs खोल लो, special economic zones खोल लो. So this is beta subsidies and domestic support. You are providing subsidies to your domestic producer so that they are protected against competition. Next देखो, technical barriers to trade. ये specially US बहुत करते हैं. What will US say? Look, India is not producing a good quality product. India is not taking care of the health measures. India is giving us bad quality food. It is not taking care of this condition when producing. इससे import नहीं करेंगे, right? So developed countries do this with developing countries. वो क्या बोल देते हैं कि इनका health standard maintained नहीं है. They are not maintaining health standard. We will not purchase from them. Are they putting any tax? No. Still, there is a barrier to it. Efficiency controls. What are efficiency controls saying, beta? Restriction on exchange or conversion of currency. अब ध्यान से समझो. This is country A, this is country B. If you want to import from country B, तो आपको उसकी करेंसी चाहिए होगी ना पे करने के लिए. यू हैव टू पे दैट कंट्री इन इट्स करेंसी. अगर आप उसको पे करोगे उसकी करेंसी में, उसके अगेंस्ट ही तो आप उससे गुड ले पाओगे. बट व्हाट इफ द गवर्नमेंट स्टॉप्स दिस करेंसी कन्वर्जन? गवर्नमेंट बोल देती है हम नहीं दे रहे ये करेंसी, वी आर नॉट गिविंग यू दिस करेंसी. There will be no imports that will take place because there is no conversion of the currency taking place. That is called as your restriction. You are restricting the currency conversions. Better come to the next one. Local content requirement. What is local content requirement saying? It is saying that a specific percentage should be produced domestically. जैसे हम अगर इंडिया में बोल दें that we want 80% of the steel should be produced within India. Government ने ये एक law लगा दिया that this much percentage has to be consumed from Indian production. That is called as local content requirement. ठीक है. Last is your import deposit. Now what we are saying? We are saying अगर आपको import करना है तो आपको एक एडवांस डिपॉजिट करवाना पड़ेगा. यू नीड टू मेक सम एडवांस डिपॉजिट, ओनली देन यू कैन इंपोर्ट. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इंपोर्ट डिपॉजिट. सो ऑल दीज बेटा आर योर नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर्स. कोटा, वॉलंटरी एक्सपोर्ट रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, इंपोर्ट लाइसेंसेस, सब्सिडीज एंड डोमेस्टिक सपोर्ट, टेक्निकल बैरियर्स टू ट्रेड, एफिशिएंसी कंट्रोल, कंटेंट रिक्वायरमेंट एंड इंपोर्ट डिपॉजिट. ये सारे के सारे आपके रिस्ट्रिक्शंस हैं, बट दीज आर ऑल नॉन टैरिफ रिस्ट्रिक्शन. क्लियर हुई बात? सो व्हाट विल बी द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन? लेट्स गो बैक. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर? वीईआर तो है, हमने अभी अभी देखा. अ प्रोक्योरमेंट लॉ डायरेक्टिंग गवर्नमेंट टू बाय डोमेस्टिकली मेड प्रोडक्ट्स. यहां पे भी आप रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहे हो कि डोमेस्टिकल प्रोडक्ट्स ही खरीदो, राइट? So this is also there. Imposition of sanitary measure, ये मैंने आपको बताया यहाँ पे कि हेल्थ के नाम पे बोल देते हैं that no import will take place. This is also a barrier. Anti-dumping law, this is not a barrier. The correct answer is D. अच्छा, now let's understand what is dumping. What is dumping बेटा? क्या होता है dumping? Imagine this is country A, this is country B. Country A is producing a car at 5 lakhs. Country B has a technology जिससे it can produce a car at very cheap prices. What will it do? It will just put all the cars in market of country A. यहां पर इस कंट्री बी में बहुत सारे प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं, दे आर कंपीटिंग विद ईच अदर. बट कंट्री ए में बहुत सारे प्रोड्यूसर्स नहीं है, देयर इज नॉट मच प्रोडक्शन टेकिंग प्लेस. सो इजीली दिस प्रोड्यूसर कैन गो टू कंट्री ए एंड इट कैन स्टार्ट सेलिंग दिस प्रोडक्ट एट अ वेरी चीप प्राइस. बहुत सस्ते में इस प्रोडक्ट को डंप कर दिया, सस्ते में वहां पे डाल दिया सारा. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज डंपिंग. यू हैव कॉम्पिटिशन इन योर मार्केट. आपकी कंट्री में तो कंपटीशन है, बट यू वांट टू बिकम अ मोनोपोलिस्ट इन द अदर मार्केट बाय सेलिंग द प्रोडक्ट वेरी चीपली. बहुत सस्ते में बेच के आप यहां पे पूरी अपनी मोनोपोली क्रिएट कर लो. दैट इज डंपिंग. एंटी डंपिंग लॉ मीन्स दैट लॉ विच अवॉइड्स दिस डंपिंग. जो लॉ इस डंपिंग के अगेंस्ट रहता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एंटी डंपिंग लॉ. So the correct answer to this question will be B. This is not an example of non-tariff barrier. This is a different concept altogether. ये एकदम अलग concept है, right? Okay. Now let's go ahead and come to the next question. This is among the following who first propounded internal governance debt does not create burden for future generation. In order to understand this, we need to go ahead and we need to understand an important concept beta, and that's the concept of Ricardian equivalence. Ricardian equivalence. Ricardian equivalence concept was given in 1970. As the word suggests, किसने दिया होगा ये? रिकार्डो में. Ricardian equivalence क्या कहता है? ध्यान से समझो. It says, suppose there is a government. It has gone ahead and it has reduced taxes. Government ने आज taxes कम कर दिए. Right? It will still do its expenditure. खर्चा तो अभी भी करना ही है. So this government has reduced taxes, but this government is still spending money. How spend money? पैसा तो आ नहीं रहा. There is less revenue. How will it spend money? It will take loan. So it has taken loan. By taking loan, it is spending this money. It is making flyover, it is making railway, it is making schools, etc. After some years, say after 30 years, it has to repay this loan. अब ये loan repay करने के लिए it needs money. How will it get its money? कैसे आएगा ये पैसा जो loan repay करना है? It will start taking more tax from the public. लोगों से ज्यादा tax collect करना शुरू कर देगी. So Ricardian equivalence is saying that if the government has reduced taxes today, don't think that you can spend more money. इन tax को बचा कर रखो. जो आज आप कम tax दे रहे हो, वो पैसे को बचा कर रखो. Save that money. Because your future only, your future generation or you in your future will have to pay more tax to the government. So tax reduction today is followed by tax increase in the future for the future generation. This is called as Ricardian equivalence. ऐसा मत सोचो कि tax नहीं देना तो चलो खर्चे बढ़ा दो. The tax reduced today, it has to be given by your future generation only. So don't spend that money, right? Now, there was this individual called AP Lerner. And AP Lerner, he was basically against this concept. He said, no, aisa kuch nahi hota. This is not true. So who said, read the question, beta. Among the following, who first propounded internal government debt does not create burden for the future generation? तो इसी क्वेश्चन को हम reframe कर सकते हैं. That who propounded against Ricardian equivalence. Ricardian equivalence के against किसने बताया? It was AP Lerner. So the correct answer to this question is AP Lerner. Okay, beta, come to the next question. Which among the following is example of direct tax? देखो, we can divide taxes in two parts. Direct, indirect. Direct means they are directly collected at source. जैसे on your income. क्या होगा बेटा? If you will see your salary statements in the future, ऐसा कुछ देखा करोगे आप. Whenever you will see your salary statement has two parts to it. Gross salary, कि आपकी salary है कितनी. Less taxes, जो पहले ही कट जाएंगे. It will be taken by your company only. And then it will have net salary. This is what you will get in hand. यही मिलेगा आपको. So your taxes would be deducted at source. It will be deducted by your company itself before you get your money in hand. But what is indirect tax? Indirect tax means you are not directly paying to the government. Just for example, what will happen in a lot of cases, like McDonald's. बेटा आप गए McDonald's में, you ordered a burger. Big Mac. The burger is for 120 rupees. You paid a GST of 18 rupees. In total, you paid 138 to that McDonald's person and he gave you a burger in return. This tax is not paid directly to the government. आप government को जाके थोड़े बोलो लो मेरा tax लो, मैंने अभी भी burger खाया है. No, that's not happening ना. You are not paying directly to the government. You are paying this tax to this McDonald's. McDonald's will later deposit it with the government, right? This is an indirect tax. So what is an indirect tax? यहाँ पे अगर हम example में देखें, sales tax indirect tax होता है, right? Custom duty indirect tax होता है. Income tax direct tax. So which is an example of direct tax? The correct answer to this question will be C. It is an example of direct tax, right? Okay, beta, come to the next question. In the context of endogenous growth theory, the Nobel laureate Paul Romer emphasized that ideas are, okay, पहले हम दो concept को समझते हैं. Non-rivalrous, non-excludable versus rivalrous versus excludable. Right, beta? But a non-rivalrous means that good which is basically that any good. अभी हम public good के बारे में बात करते हैं, then I will talk about ideas also. So any good which is basically not reducing the consumption for other people. जैसे example, a park. Right? Now you are walking in this park. मैं भी आती हूँ, मैं भी walk करना शुरू कर देती हूँ. So if you have this one park to yourself, I will also have one park only. Will it reduce the amount of park I have? नहीं ना, आपके लिए भी एक park है, मेरे लिए भी एक park है. So that is non-rivalrous in nature. But a rivalrous माने, जैसे for example, I have a pizza. This is my pizza that I have. अब मैंने पिज्जा का एक स्लाइस ले लिया इसमें से. It will have less pizza for you. You will have one less slice for yourself. So rivalrous मतलब rival create करना. मतलब when I will consume, you will have less. Non-rivalrous means when I will consume, you will have the same. मेरी consumption से आपको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. Right? When I am watching news, my family is also watching the same news. मेरे news देखने से उनके जितनी news मिल रही है, that is not reducing. That is a non-rivalrous good. Right? Now let's talk about excludability versus non-excludability. This has to do with price imposed. Beta, you go to a cafe. There is a shake. Is shake ka price है 250 rupees. Now, if I just have 200 rupees, क्या मैं shake खरीद सकती हूँ? I cannot purchase this shake. So I am excluded from buying the good. मैं exclude हो गई हूँ shake खरीदने से because I don't have money to purchase shake. Right? So anything on which price is imposed becomes excludable in nature. But take the example of National Defense Service. Whether it is Ambani's or whether it is me, सबको defense मिल रहा है, सबको security मिल रही है, everybody is safe. The soldiers are protecting for everyone in the country. So defense is non-excludable. I cannot exclude anyone from using it. Right? Okay. Now, let's talk about ideas. अब idea की जब बात करते हैं, can I go ahead and say it is rivalrous in nature? Once I give you idea, right? Once I have an idea available in the market, anyone can use it. The idea used by one doesn't reduce idea available for other. एक के idea available होने से दूसरे के लिए भी वही idea available है. So if I just suppose मैंने YouTube खोला and on YouTube it is telling me that look, you can pack this box in this way. ऐसे ऐसे आप इसको pack कर सकते हो. This information is available to me also. This information is available to you also. मेरे उस information को use करने से does it reduce that for you? No. It is available for all of us. I can use it, and same information is available to you also, to him also, to her also, and so on and so forth. So it is non-rivalrous in nature. So answer to the question is non-rivalrous, right? But I can exclude people. If I put some patents on it, then I have excluded people from using it. Just it happens with medicines. If you put a patent on the medicine, तो वो idea available तो है, but nobody can use it. Because now there is a heavy price on it, on the idea. So excludable हो सकता है. There will be some excludability, but it will remain non-rivalrous in nature. Right? So answer should be non-rivalrous. Okay, beta. Come to the next question. Question number 37. The Human Development Index longevity is measured by. So everybody must know the formula of HDI. बहुत important है. It can definitely be asked in exam. Everyone has to remember this, right? I think this year in exam, they can give you a numerical on HDI. So you need to go ahead and do this numerical very well. Huh? Okay, beta. So HDI is basically the geometric mean. और जो formula है ये I think HDI पे आ सकता है multi-dimensional poverty index पे. You should be remembering both of them. So HDI can be written as the geometric mean of three things. First of all, we are interested in understanding how to measure long and healthy life. Long and healthy life को हम कैसे measure करें? Secondly, we are interested in understanding how to measure knowledge, right? And third, how to measure decent standard of living. ये तीन चीजें measure करनी होती हैं हमें. So we want to measure long and healthy life. We want to measure knowledge of the people, and we want to measure the decent standard of living of people. Knowledge, long and healthy life, longevity, can be measured by life expectancy at birth. But this can be measured with two things average. पहला हो जाता है जिसे हम बोलते हैं expected years of schooling. And second is known as mean year of schooling. And इसको हम measure कर लेते हैं from gross national income per capita. Gross national income per capita. These are the three index that we use. So based on this, the correct answer to this question will be D. Life expectancy at birth, right? Okay, beta, come to the next question. It is the geometric mean of all three. Absolutely correct. Which of the following statement is correct about the 14th Finance Commission? Everybody, for GATE exam, you have to make a table and you have to compare. Okay, let me see. I think there is some problem with sharing. Just give me a minute, people. I hope the screen is properly getting shared. Okay, so everyone, you have to go ahead and you have to compare between 14th Finance Commission and 15th Finance Commission. Right? Please do this comparison between 14th Finance Commission and 15th Finance Commission. First of all, I am telling you all features about the 14th Finance Commission. So it is saying which of the following statement is correct about the 14th Finance Commission? देखो बेटा ध्यान से समझो. First of all, they increased the share of center divisible poll tax to 42%. So basically, earlier it was 32% and then it became to 42%. अब थोड़ा समझ लेते हैं. What is Finance Commission role? The role of Finance Commission is to tell how taxes will be, how devolution of tax will take place. Devolution of tax means what? It means sharing of tax. मतलब सेंटर और स्टेट के बीच में टैक्सेस कैसे बटेंगे, हाउ टैक्सेस विल बी शेयर्ड बिटवीन सेंटर एंड स्टेट, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज डेवोल्यूशन ऑफ टैक्स. ठीक है, दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग इट टेल्स. सेकेंडली, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज कॉल्ड एज वर्टिकल इम्बैलेंस प्रॉब्लम. बेटा वर्टिकल इम्बैलेंस माने क्या? कितना पैसा सेंटर के पास रहेगा और कितना स्टेट के पास. हाउ मच मनी सेंटर विल हैव एंड हाउ मच स्टेट विल हैव, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज वर्टिकल बैलेंस बिटवीन सेंटर एंड स्टेट. देन द सेकंड थिंग वी हैव इज कॉल्ड एज हॉरिजॉन्टल इम्बैलेंस. सो अगर मैं ये देखूं कि हाउ मच मनी पंजाब इज गेटिंग, how much Haryana is getting, how much UP is getting, how much Kerala is getting, how much Assam is getting, how much Jammu and Kashmir is getting. When I will see between different states, every state should be on same level. This is called as horizontal imbalance. So vertical is center को state से compare करना, horizontal is different states को compare करना. The Finance Commission has to do both these tasks. It has to ensure vertical imbalance also is maintained. There is no imbalance vertically and there is no imbalance horizontally. When we talk about the 14th Finance Commission, it said that whatever is center divisible tax pool, मतलब वो taxes जो center और state को एक दूसरे के साथ मिलजुल के बांटने हैं, those taxes which they have to divide with each other, that should be raised to 42%. Second thing, reduce fiscal deficit to 3% of GDP by 2016-17. Fiscal deficit को reduce किया जाए. What is fiscal deficit? It is total expenditure minus total revenue. Third, go ahead and reduce revenue deficit to 0%. What is revenue deficit? Revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. इसको 0% पे ले जाओ. Establishment of independent fiscal council. अब क्या काम होगा इस fiscal council का? The role of the fiscal council is to go ahead and ensure that you maintain the appropriate fiscal balance. ऐसा ना हो कि आप सही से खर्चे ना करके बहुत ज्यादा खर्चे कर दो. You have to maintain appropriate fiscal balance. That will be the role of your fiscal council. Replace FRBM Act with debt ceiling and fiscal responsibility legislation. तो पहले हमारा जो एक्ट होता था, that used to be called as Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. And they said that we need to replace this act. And what will be the new act? Debt ceiling and fiscal responsibility legislation. अब इस एक्ट को हम debt ceiling and fiscal responsibility legislation बोलेंगे. Do away with distinction between special and general category states. तो पहले in 13th Finance Commission we had two types of states. One were called as general states and one were called as special states. These special states used to get more money from center. इनको थोड़ा special treatment मिलता था. Why? Because they could not collect state taxes. इनको बहुत ज्यादा state taxes नहीं collect हो पाते थे. So they were given special treatment from the center and they were given more money from the center. So the 14th Finance Commission said that we will remove this distinction between special and general state. ये जो भी हमारी distinction है इनके बीच में, इनको हटा दो. Compensate states fully for 3 years because of revenue loss after GST implementation. So many states were against GST. वो कह रहे थे कि देखो GST की वजह से हमें कितना loss हो रहा है. We are in such a loss. So therefore we said that okay, wait. जितना लॉस हो रहा है सेंटर उसका पैसा आपको 3 साल के लिए देगा. सो कॉम्पनसेट स्टेट्स कंप्लीटली फॉर 3 years in the whatever loss they are bearing due to GST implementation. So these are all the features of your 14th Finance Commission. So beta, which of this is correct? C. Recommended increase in share of tax to 42%. This is the correct option. Okay. Beta, come to the next question. Many scholars consider that the study conducted by Dadekar and Rath in 1960 as first systematic assessment of poverty in independent India. Which option is not correct from the study? पहले मैं आपको इस स्टडी के बारे में थोड़ा बता देती हूँ. Okay. First of all, they made this assessment about poverty. उन्होंने पता करना शुरू किया कि पॉवर्टी कैसे हम एस्टिमेट कर सकते हैं, पॉवर्टी लाइन कैसे हम निकाल सकते हैं. सो दे स्टार्टेड एस्टिमेटिंग अबाउट पॉवर्टी एंड दे मेड देयर असेसमेंट इन 1971. दिस असेसमेंट, जो उन्होंने ये असेसमेंट किया, इट वाज बेस्ड ऑन नेशनल सैंपल सर्वे डेटा, एनएसएस पे बेस्ड था. इट इज सेड that this is the first systematic assessment of poverty. पहली बारी अगर किसी ने systematically पता किया हो, मतलब create किया हो that okay, this is the consumption people should do. To do this consumption, this is the money required. That proper systematic assessment, right? That states require this much, or rural area required this much, urban area required this much, how many calories people require. That systematic approach for the first time was taken by them. All previous scholars considered the subsistence or minimum needs criteria as the measure of poverty. तो इनसे पहले जो भी scholars आते थे, they used to always say कि हम poverty किस basis पे करेंगे? On the minimum requirements, food, cloth, shelter की जगह जो minimum subsistence है, सबसे minimum requirement है, we will consider poverty on that basis, right? But they considered poverty on the basis of calorie in both rural and urban area. तो उन्होंने बोला कि okay, let us first calculate how many calories are required for your existence, and then we will convert these calories in terms of money. कि उन calories को consume करने के लिए कितना पैसा चाहिए, right? So this is their study. Now try to read this out. So it says, the study was gone ahead and it was based on monthly per capita consumption expenditure from 1960 round of NSS. So this is the correct option. Yes. Their data was based on national sample survey. Ekdam theek baat hai. The study used the identical calorie norm for rural and urban area. Yes. दोनों ही areas के लिए 2250 calories were dictated. So this is also the correct option. The poverty head count ratio was estimated by the study was higher for rural and urban. No, it was same for rural and urban area. The study used the same poverty line for all states. Yes. उन्होंने state wise या rural urban wise distinguish नहीं किया. They kept it same for rural, urban and for all states. So the correct answer to this question is C. This is not what they used. They gave the same calorie intake for rural and urban area. ठीक है? ये अपने आप में बेटा is one of the criticism of this case. कि कैसे रूरल और अर्बन एरिया को सेम कैलोरीज चाहिए हो सकती हैं. That's not correct, right? So this is also criticism that we. Okay, come to the next question. Which of the following statement is or are correct about Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana that came? Okay, let me give you some features. This Yojana, it came in 2015. पहले नाम पढ़ो थोड़ा. प्रधानमंत्री कौशल, कौशल means skill. विकास, विकास means improve. Yojana means scheme. So prime ministers प्राइम मिनिस्टर स्किल इंप्रूवमेंट स्कीम, यहीं से हमें पता चल गया व्हाट इज द एम. द एम इज टू इम्प्रूव द स्किल ऑफ द पीपल. हमें लोगों के स्किल्स को इम्प्रूव करना है, राइट? ओके, इट वॉज, let me just give you the features first. It was launched in 2015 beta, क्योंकि it is about skill, so it will be launched by the Ministry of Skill Development only. So it was launched under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. It covered 24 lakh people, right? And it said that we have an upper limit of 8,000 per training. मतलब हम उनको स्किल प्रोवाइड करेंगे and then we will go ahead and give them a reward. It's like जब आप internship करते हो, you get a stipend for it. So this is like that only. When these people will work with us, then we will give them up to 8,000 per month. And the total money allocated for the scheme was 1120 crore. And we had to train 14 lakh youth, right? बेटा इसमें हमने बोला कि हम कुछ प्रायर लर्निंग भी देंगे. वी विल गिव यू सम प्रायर लर्निंग स्किल्स आल्सो, फॉर व्हिच दे एलोकेटेड 220 crores. एंड वी विल आल्सो डू सम अवेयरनेस बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम. हम कुछ अवेयरनेस भी बिल्ड करेंगे, फॉर व्हिच वी विल गिव यू 67 on which they will spend 67 crore. So let's see which options are correct. It was under the Ministry of Education and Skill. Under education, no, it was under the Ministry of Skill. तो ये गलत हो गया. Under Ministry of Skill Development. The first option is incorrect. It was launched in the year 2010. No, it was launched in 2015. Right? The National Skill Development Corporation has been responsible for its implementation. Yes. बेटा आपको सिर्फ कौशल अगर इंग्लिश में पता है, कौशल is skill, you can identify the answer. One of the objective was to enable large scale of Indian youth to take industry relevant skill training. Yes. So C and D are the correct option. This is an MSQ question. Right? Okay, beta. Come to the next question. Which of the following is or are used for testing the assumptions of normality? Okay. So the test used for testing normality, but that is C and A. Shapiro-Walk test and Jarque-Bera test. Bruce-Godfrey test क्यों यूज किया जाता है? It is used for autocorrelation. And Park test for heteroscedasticity. Right? So the correct answer to this question will be A and C. Right? Okay, beta. Let's take a break here and let us meet back at 4:30 p.m. It is 4:20 on my watch. I will meet you again at 4:30. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Question number 42. क्या बोल रहे बेटा क्वेश्चन? Let's say suppose Amar borrows rupees 1,000 from Ujla, and after 1 year Ujla wants 1100 back from Amar. The yield to maturity is nothing, just interest rate. वो ही निकालना है. मतलब yield to maturity क्या है? The return जो उसको मिला है. तो return निकालना तो बहुत easy है बेटा, right? How do you find return? You will always go ahead and you will do the final value minus the original value upon the original value into 100. यही तो रिटर्न है. उसने 100 रुपए तो एक्स्ट्रा दिए है ना. इंस्टेड ऑफ 1000 repaid 1100. So 1100 minus 1000, 100 is the return, divided by 1000 into 100%. So this will be 100 by 1000 into 100. That means 10%. So इसका आंसर will be 10%. Okay, come to question number 43. A 250 ml bottle of mango juice costs USD 4 in US. So how much is it costing in US? USD 4, right? If the exchange rate is, क्या exchange rate दिया हुआ बच्चे? $0.02 per rupee, right? What will be the cost of the same bottle in rupee? So 1 rupee is worth $0.02. Unitary method, कुछ नहीं करना है. तो $4 will be how much rupees? तो बेटा how do you apply the unitary method? आप हमेशा same यूनिट्स को एक साथ रखते हो. सो डॉलर के नीचे डॉलर रखोगे, रुपी के नीचे रुपी निकालना है, राइट? एंड हाउ विल यू फाइंड दिस? मल्टीप्लाई दिस एंड डिवाइड बाय दिस. सिंपल, और कुछ नहीं करना है. सो ऑलवेज मल्टीप्लाई क्रॉस and divide by this. That's unitary. That is how we apply this method. Huh? So 4 into 1 divided by 0.02. So it will be 4 by 2 into 100. So it will be 200. So answer to this question will be 200. That's it. Am I clear with this method? So it says 1 rupee is worth $0.02. Right? तो यही तो हमने यहाँ पर अप्लाई किया है. That okay, 1 rupee is $0.02, and we are given another thing that in US it is $4. So in US it is $4. So how much here? So cross multiply and divide by this. So 4 into 1 divided by 0.02. तो आंसर हो गया 200. That's the answer to this question. Okay. Okay, beta. Come to the next question. It says the following table provides you with population information for different age groups. Okay. And what is the question asking you? The percentage change in old age dependency ratio from 2010 to 2017 is. ठीक है. So try to understand that whenever we need to do such question, देखो बेटा हमारे को ये बोल रहा है percentage change in old age dependency ratio. So first of all, tell me, how can we write old age dependency ratio? कैसे लिख सकते हैं हम old age dependency ratio? Those people who are in the old age divided by those people who are independent. So who will be the people who are in the old age? Population who is above 65 years. Who are the people who will be independent? जो पैसा कमा रहे हैं. Population between 15 to 64. So old age dependency ratio can be defined with people who are dependent and in old age divided by people who are independent. इन्हीं पर तो ये dependent है. The people who are above 65 are dependent on the people between 15 to 64. So बच्चे in 2010 what is this ratio? देखो ध्यान से. In 2010 old age people are 232450. And who are the people who are between 15 to 64? 899210. 899210. If you solve this, you will get 0.2585. अब 2017 में बताओ मुझे इस बात को. What happens in 2017? But who are the people who are above 65? 254474. 254474. And who are the people who are independent? कितने लोग हैं ये? 847552. If you solve this, you will get 0.3002. तो हमने दोनों ही साल का, for year 2010 and 2017, I have gone ahead and I have found out the old age dependency ratio. ये हमने निकाल लिया. Now what the question is asking? It is asking you to find the percentage change. So what is the percentage change? Percentage change in ratio divided by the base value into 100. इसको बोल देते हैं percentage change. So old age dependency ratio in 2017 minus old age dependency ratio in 2010 divided by old age dependency ratio in 2010 into 100. Clear हुई बात बेटा? So what will you get from here? 0.3002 minus 0.2585 divided by old value, base year value, 0.2585 into 100. But when you will solve this, you will get the answer as 16.13%. ठीक है? So the correct answer to this question will be 16.13%. Right? Come to the next question. Okay, read this question. A firm in a market has the total cost function which is given by A plus B Q. What will happen if the fixed cost increases? अब पहले बात को ध्यान से समझो. ये total cost है. In this total cost function, you are given that there is one part which is not a function of your output. Right, beta? This is not a function of the output. So this is my fixed cost. But this is a function of the output. This is your variable cost. Now let's read the option. In short run, firms AVC will shift upwards. ये मेरा variable cost हो गया. अब मुझे एक बात बताओ, एक बार ये मुझे बताओ कि what will be average variable cost of the firm? Variable cost divided by output. What is variable cost? BQ divided by Q. Is this variable cost affected by A? क्या इस variable cost के part में कहीं पे भी A आ रहा है? Is A coming anywhere? No. So it says what happens if fixed cost increases. तो जब ये A बढ़ेगा, when this A will increase, will it affect this in any way? No. There is no direct effect. Are you getting this? Am I making some sense to it? Should I repeat it once? देखो ध्यान से. My total cost is given to you as A plus BQ. Beta, A is your fixed cost. This is your fixed cost. Because this is not a function of output. Not a function of output. Beta, this is your variable cost. It is a function of output. अब ये बोल रहा है क्वेश्चन में that this A is increasing. A is increasing. हाँ बेटा. The first option says that AVC will change. Beta, AVC is VC, variable cost, divided by output. This AVC is not a function of A. उसको इस A से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. So we cannot talk about this A directly. So we will not talk about this. Come to the second option. In short run firms, ATC will shift upwards. अब देखो, the total cost function is given as A plus BQ. What will be your average total cost? It will be total cost divided by output. It will be A by Q plus BQ by Q. Right, beta? Clear हुई बात? Now, this is my ATC. ये मेरा average total cost हो गया. Now, when my A will increase, जब ये A बढ़ेगा, then my ATC will also increase. If my ATC will increase, it will shift upwards. देखो, this is my ATC curve. ये कब upward shift होगा? जब ये ATC increase होगा. When is ATC increasing? When A is increasing, ATC is increasing. It's coming in the numerator. So when my A will increase, my ATC will increase. When my ATC will increase, the average total cost will shift upwards. So the correct answer to this question should be B. This is correct. अब third option भी देखो. But when cost increases, will your profit increase? नहीं ना? Profit should decrease. This is incorrect. Look into the next option. In short run, marginal cost curve will shift upwards. But look again. My total cost is given as A plus BQ. But what is your marginal cost? When you will differentiate total cost with respect to output. When you will differentiate this, जब मैंने इसको differentiate किया, क्या मिलेगा? 0 plus B dash Q. I will get B dash Q. Is marginal cost affected by A? क्या marginal cost को A से फर्क पड़ रहा है? Is it a function of A? No. There is no A coming in marginal cost. So this is also incorrect. So the correct answer to this question should be B. Am I clear with that? Okay. Better come to the next question. Question number 46. The emission of greenhouse gas is an example of bads that are. So, beta, what are bad goods? Those goods which you want to reduce the consumption. When you reduce the consumption, if your utility increases, ऐसे गुड जिनकी कंजम्पशन कम करने से उनकी यूटिलिटी बढ़ती है, they are called as bad goods, like pollution, like COVID. When you will reduce their consumption, your utility will increase. Clear? Now, it is an example of. So, अगर air में greenhouse gas है, suppose there is carbon dioxide in the air, will you take it? Yes. Will I take it? Yes. Will the third person take it? Yes. भाई हवा में everybody will consume it, right? So greenhouse gas, if it is in the air, जैसे today in Noida, there is too much pollution. If there is pollution in Delhi, if there is pollution in Noida, if there is pollution in North India, then what will happen? Can you exclude anyone from taking that air? No, na. आप भी लोगे, मैं भी लूंगी, सब लेंगे. Second thing, can consumption of pollution by one person reduce it for other? अगर मैं कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड सारी अपने अंदर ले लेती हूँ, क्या आपके लिए कम हो जाएगी? No. Your lungs will also take the same amount that I will take. So consumption by one person will not reduce it for the other person. मेरे कंज्यूम करने से आपके लिए कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कम नहीं है. You also get the same pollution, right? And it is non-excludable. You cannot exclude yourself from consuming it. हाँ, mask लगा लोगे, but in general, I can't say कि, you know, I will exclude this person from taking carbon dioxide, right? So answer is D. It is non-rivalrous and non-excludable. ओके बेटा, कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 47. क्या बोल रहा है ये? It says consider a closed economy ISLM model. The IS equation is given by y is equal to cy plus iz plus g, and the LM equation is given by m by p is equal to ky minus li. Okay. Z is given to you as I minus pi e. ठीक है जी. Suppose everyone in the economy suddenly expects inflation to rise. Assuming LM curve remains unchanged, what will happen in the short run? बहुत simple है. Try to understand this thing, huh? But when inflation will increase, that means यहां पर ये वाला जो फैक्टर है, this will increase. अब देखो एग्जाम्पल लो. Suppose I tell you nominal interest rate is 10%. But Z is representing real interest rate. Z is representing real interest rate. Suppose inflation अभी तक इकोनॉमी में 1% थी. Inflation in economy was 1%. Can you tell me what will be the real interest rate? The real interest rate can be written as 10 minus 1. So it is 9%. Clear हुई बात? Now, suppose I tell you inflation in the economy increases to 2%. Inflation बढ़ के 2% पे हो गई. But what will happen to real interest rate? It will be 10 minus 2, 8%. So when inflation will increase, real interest rate will decrease. When inflation will increase, real interest rate will decrease. अब यहां पे आ जाते हैं इस इक्वेशन में. Investment is inversely related to interest rate. Inversely related to interest rate. Investment और interest rate negatively related होते हैं. So when your interest rate will increase, investment will decrease. And when your interest rate will decrease, investment will increase. अब बच्चे यहां क्या हो रहा है? The interest rate is decreasing. So when the interest rate will decrease, जब आपका interest rate कम होगा, when it will fall, investment in the economy will increase. Investment बढ़ जाएगी. Now, आगे देखो. When your investment increases, your IS curve will shift to the right. IS curve will shift to the right. So this is your IS. LM. ये आपका भी इक्विलिब्रियम है इकोनॉमी में. Now, when investment increases, the IS curve will shift to the right. So the IS curve is shifting rightwards. When the IS curve will shift to the right, the level of the output in the economy will increase. So equilibrium output will increase. So beta, what will be the answer to this question? There will be increase in the equilibrium level of output. Is this clear? ये पूरा चीज clear हुआ analysis? Okay, so answer is A. Beta, come to the next question. Okay, so this says that which of the following is method used for over identification? तो over identification में I have given you that you can use two-stage least square, right? You can use other techniques also. हमने पूरा पढ़ा है where to use, जैसे for example, where to use indirect least square when it is just identified, where to use two-stage least square, where to go ahead and where to use three-stage least square, where to use your maximum likelihood technique. Right, beta? So we know that indirect least square is when it is just identified. ये तो हम usually weighted least square तो heteroscedasticity में use करते हैं. ऑर्डिनरी लीस्ट स्क्वायर हम यूज करते हैं when all assumptions are satisfied, not in simultaneous model. Basic CLRM assumptions satisfy होती हैं तब. And two-stage least square is used when you have over-identified. So answer will be A. Come to the next question. An income tax system is considered as progressive if average tax rate increases as income increases. Consider the income tax schedule. क्या दिया हो बच्चे आपको? T is equal to P plus small t y. For this tax schedule to be progressive, the value of P should be. So what will be your average tax rate? Average tax is tax divided by income. Tax is given to you as P plus TY. ये tax की value दी हुई है आपको, P plus TY. You're given this. Divided by the level of the income. Income से divide कर दिया. So what will you get? You will get P by Y plus TY by Y. So beta, you will get P by Y plus T. Am I clear? This is your average tax rate. Beta, how is this defined? What is this saying? It is progressive if average tax rate rises with income. Matlab, how average tax rate changes as income changes should be positive. As income increases, average tax rate should increase. Clear हो रही है बात ये? So this is positive. So as average tax, as income increases, ATR should increase. तो बेटा हमारा ATR का जो वैल्यू आया था, we got that as PY plus T. And what do we want? That when I differentiate this with respect to income, क्या मिलेगा? Minus P by Y square plus 0, this should be positive. So I want minus P by Y square should be positive. बेटा यहां ध्यान से सुनना मेरी बात. Income is always positive. I have a negative sign here. यहाँ पे मेरे पास एक negative sign है. If I want this thing to be positive, तो मुझे न्यूमरेटर को पॉजिटिव करना पड़ेगा. डिनोमिनेटर इज इनकम, इनकम इज पॉजिटिव. ये तो पॉजिटिव ही है. सो व्हेन विल माइनस पी बी पॉजिटिव? व्हेन पी विल बी नेगेटिव. क्योंकि नेगेटिव इनटू नेगेटिव ही तो पॉजिटिव हो सकते हैं. नेगेटिव इनटू नेगेटिव इज पॉजिटिव. सो इफ आई वांट दिस थिंग टू बी पॉजिटिव, आई वांट दैट पी शुड बी नेगेटिव. सो आई वांट पी टू बी नेगेटिव. Right. So the correct answer to this question should be, it must be negative. Right, beta? Come to the next question. Demographic transition stage. मैं लिखवा देती हूँ पहले आपको. Let's write this down. Stage 1. You start with high birth rate and high death rate. Stage 2. Your death rate starts falling. So decreasing death rate, but birth rate is still high. Stage 3, your birth rate also starts to fall and death rate is falling. Stage 4, you end up with a stationary population. Right, beta? Mark karte. Stage 1, you have high of your birth rate and death rate. That means this. Stage 2, your death rate starts to fall. That means this. Mortality मतलब death rate. Death rate गिर रहा है. Death rate starts to fall. Stage 3, your birth rate starts to fall. And stage 4, you have stationary population. Right? So the correct answer to this question should be B. Okay, beta?